The poem Forbidden. The poem is titled Forbidden because in this context it is being discussing about the denial of a citizen to live in a nation which opposes the discriminations on the grounds of equality, sex, gender, caste, color, creed, religion, etc. It is solely dedicated for the victims of rapes which is happening across the country and which comes in the national mainstream media and vanishes all of a sudden. Forbidden.
I woke by knitting the crumbled ashes from smoky pyre. I peeped in for candlelit marshes to lighten a path for the cursed Avara dumped mercilessly from the village. No one came to apply turpentine drops over the oozing pores of lusty vengeance. Indeed, forbidden. I walked, caressing the fragile leaf strands of the pearl millets, reckoning with extremes of grief in mind, witnessing the silence of the downtrodden, futile life and symmetry of my impure body. I chiseled my deep wounds with the same sickle I did the last harvest. I glanced at the cows feeding upon the fodder, smudged with my vaginal blood, thence nauseating. Myself a sinner filtered in the grey shades of the purgatory. I felt mesmerized by his love, drenching in depths of the affection, rather forgetting hierarchies. It's forbidden. The saffron cords of ancestral pedigree in royal blood shall not culminate in this impure love. Then again the Jews and the blacks. Nevertheless, be cautious, for death sentence brutally at the heart of many Hadras. I couldn't hear hailstorms yearning for justice. I couldn't hear the cries of those great souls who could tear my flesh and drink the nastily luscious, untouchable blood, dissecting my nipples and ripping the last sword from my tongue. Flashlights went on hookups with the authoritarians, making my soul perspire even in the deadly cold state of being, silently digesting that I am another statue built upon the Khairlanji. Still the forbidden citizens cry. Landlords explore the thatched roofs of touchable pleasure objects to quench a light chauvinistic thrust. I roared in the highest of decibels. The owl of Aligarh slept early. It's forbidden to hear weak cries.
Hello, I am Gracious Lou Darake Sabatni. I am an MA graduate. I would like to share with you how my own interest in writing poetry developed. My interest in writing poetry developed during my college days when we used to learn about great literary figures. Our lecturers used to say that even you too can write something. You can pen down your own emotions, thoughts, and that is where I mm, developed writing poetry. Writing poetry gave me a kind of solace, a kind of pleasure, a kind of comfort. And that is why I really like writing poetry. The poem that I've chosen is the title The Pandemic. Why I wanted to write on this topic is, as we all know, from the past 7 to 8 months, the whole world is facing a hard time, a really hard time. And the many hardships that were faced during these months and that we are still facing. So I wanted to pen down my own thoughts regarding this pandemic, and the result is the poem The Pandemic. Now I'm going to recite the poem The Pandemic. Life is tiresome to be little more awesome. Will it be an air to take a hold? to present the fate and hate the calamity? New to the scenario, yet not the struggle to survive. Pandemic, a curse, a cause, a clause, moreover, a pause. Many ideas gear up to tear the fear. Some adore with love the space they unexpected. Few got addicted with interest in new things. Emotions clogged at the relationship gate. Hospitals are responsible of the innumerable deaths. Cozy and crazy fellows to abstain from them. Mourn not besides your beloved, but at faraway place to taste better the bitter reality. Economy to fall back to check with humans' ability. Migration, poverty, safety became casual terms. Locking oneself up in a room seemed a driving force. Sanitize your thoughts. Make up your emotions. The muted Mother Earth finally found some solace to breathe. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Pallavi Panda from Odisha, India. Currently pursuing my bachelor's degree with English honors at SPM Auto College, Jagatsinghpur. The title of my poem is Scary Corona. The poem is all about the terrific image of coronavirus. Now I am going to recite my poem. Scary Corona. I breathed in the morning air through a maze of fiber and yarn, covered myself with a sealed and blue gown to step outside and to water my lawn. Who could have thought a creature smaller than a grain of sand would have sent even the kingdom of sand into a state of shock and despair? For months I wished I could sit with my mom, to just lie on her lap and listen to her. I could still hear her say, "I love you, dear," looking through the window sill of her hospital room as it is her 10th day in quarantine. I am broken and hopeless now. I lost my means of earning. Yes, still holding on to life, with a million prayers sent to all the gods above to present us a boon that a day would come when we look at each other and the sky without a mask or a shield to hold our smile. Thank you.
The ocean never ceases to instill inspiration in man. Here is a poem of love compared to the deep seas. Thud. A thunderous plunge resonated in the cold deserted beach. Red color cracked the creamy sand. Bruised was him, bleeding. Rain moonlight was his sole company. Thousands of miles away, I heard his helpless moan. A frail cry from a loved one wakes you up with a frightening thud. Be it a tormenting thought or a discomforting dream, solace has to be found within. The smile of Aurora whispered to me, "Whatever evil has to happen to him, let it all occur in your dreams and spare him." And this ray of hope is called love. If Ponder was saved from all evil by Lily's love, won't he too be secure in the deep ocean of my love? The ocean of love. Magical it is, the shore of love. Once we enjoy the beauty of it, nothing can pull us back. The waves in the ocean cleanses the dirt ridden in our hearts, be it ego, disrespect, or anger. The serene touch of love purifies us just like the tiny white bubbles washes the seashore with vigor. Myself elevated with his bottomless love and himself sanctifying from mine. Diving more and more into its depths do we find hidden treasure. Is it the peridot stones of Hawaiian lands or the aquamarine gems? Gems are unique, so are we. Love shows us who we are. A process of understanding sets in. In the middle of the ocean, he asked me once, "How do you understand peace?" Stood I, clueless, gaping at his eyes, which signaled an appalling danger. "You appreciate peace more than violence. The raging sea and her elements of anger, the thunderous storm and lightning cannot be quieted that easily. The best way to protect ourselves is to board the boat of trust. As long as the boat doesn't wreck, so are we. The winds ate away the sails, rollers, and everything it could find, but an unknown force protected us. Our boat. We called it unconditional love. The day after the storm, we smiled happily, sharing small pieces of joy fished from the ocean. Irony it is, when love is imagined as a complex phenomenon, its very essence lies in the simplicity of sharing the myth. As the ocean has no end, so does my love for you. This is Kavya signing off.
Hello everyone, I am Madhumati, a bilingual poet. I write in English as well as Tamil. It's a great pleasure and honor to render my poem Shades of Love that got selected for the poetry competition conducted by All India Forum for English Students, Scholars and Trainers. I will share about myself at the end of the poem. Shades of Love. The palette speaks. The browns of the earth in its invisible layers. He hid his words like rain as love lashes upon his heart. Honey-soaked whispers exude. Petrichor-scented words sprout in lush green upon her barren soul. Bronze canvas and emerald art, near yet far. Where will she hide the color that blooms as she blushes when the earth turns her into a forest of flowers? Who will stop the wind from carrying the fragrances of every petal, gossiping about her love? And who will stop her from buying pictures for mirages and stop him, the earth, from drinking her tears with an unquenchable thirst? Oh, the myriad shades of love, pleasure and pain painted upon the canvas of life, unpredictable tears and laughter, smiles and frowns the shades leave behind. In mysterious blue of the night, enigmatic purple, the unspoken words blanket her as quilts. On colder winter nights, her eyes longing for the bonfire of happiness, warm flames blooming as yellow-orange petals. Under the milky blue sky, shade of vast unbound wings, hope sprouts. In the color of rain, love gently showers upon her soul. Silvery, shimmering strings and drops, like tapestry and sequins. Kisses planted in dreams are embroidered as poems. Multicolored designs wink at her. Each shade of love carry a story. Warm, cool, soft, each color's voice speaks the language of love. Bold, chirpy, shy, however love speaks. It is love that anchors the soul. It is love that shoulders the world. She, he, you or me. It isn't the shade of love that matters, but its color fastness that makes life a timeless artwork of love. It isn't the shade of love that matters, but its color fastness that makes life a timeless artwork of love. And about me, nature, you can see from the background, nature is my most favorite muse. I'm an ardent lover of nature, photography and music. And I also love to write about mental health awareness, to break the stigma and to create awareness and spread the importance of being empathetic towards one another. Collective warmth of love, kindness to be gifted to each other. Maybe we can call it as Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. The whole world is one family.
I'm back home after rendering my poem At the Terrace in Nature's Presence, my close to heart news. Let me share more about myself. As I told you, I'm a bilingual poet. I love to write both in Tamil and English. And my poems are published with the Poetry Society India's anthology for the All India Poetry Competition in the year 2015, 16 and 17. In the multilingual anthology Poetic Prism, Amravati Poetic Prism, Chennai Poet Circle's Efflorescence, India Poetry Circle's Madras Hues Myriad Views, which celebrated the spirit and glory of Madras, and in e-zines, in the UGC approved e-journal Muse India, in International Writers Journal IWJ, and e-zines Stories in OPA, Inner Child Press, Positive Vibes and Science Shore. Well, I would like to take this opportunity to share a few thoughts on writing. For me personally, writing is a metamorphosis, as I told earlier, and it should just be something like a bud blossoming, very slowly, organically, and art, it should be something that we create from our heart. It should be a confluence of our heart, mind and soul, what we really believe in. So there is no hurry for art. There is no need to compare ourselves with others' progress, because the society will always have a yardstick to define our success, our journeys. But no, we should never allow that to happen. We should never allow others' comments and criticisms to affect us. That way, I have to tell here that the social media is playing a very major role in a good way as well as in a demotivating way. I mean, it's all about how we take it. All the likes, comments, reactions on social media, people get just carried away by the number of followers, thousands and thousands of followers, and don't ever get carried away by that. Don't be in a hurry to receive all the validations. Write from your heart for your own self. Because for me personally, I don't write for validations, though I completely feel happy. And any writer, any creator, the appreciation matters a lot to motivate himself or herself to create further. Still, I value genuine feedbacks like anything, because they are my tiaras, my soul's tiaras. They are my treasure, priceless ones, money can't buy. Because many friends have told me how their perspective has changed reading my works. I'm saying this in all humbleness, but with a very happy heart. Because whatever we create, it need not immediately have thousands and thousands of accolades and acknowledgements. Even if one poetry we create, even if one capture we share, one painting we create, one song we sing, if it could create a positive vibe in someone's heart, if it could heal someone, if it could make a difference in someone's life, plant hope, gift a smile, then we have not lived in vain. Every little counts. Everything begins with a small step. Every drop of rain matters to create that mighty ocean. So let us just understand, everything begins with a small drop, a stream, river, and then we all just merge into the, abundant thing called ocean, the ocean of art. Art is an ocean. So don't ever get carried away by what is happening on social media. Do it for yourself, because success, happiness should come from our heart. We have to say, yes, are we happy? Am I really successful? And if your soul is joyful in whatever you do, then that is the real success. And all the acknowledgements genuinely we receive, that should be organic. Never be in a hurry to receive acknowledgements. Never be in a hurry to appreciate a work of art just because you're forced to, just because you're on social media. Never do that. I generally save a lot of posts of my friends. They know about me. I take time to sit with those work of art to understand and then appreciate, to add my thoughts. And one more thing, please be open to criticism. It is very, very important. When we are appreciated when someone says something nice about whatever we create, we instantly feel happy. It's natural, that's fine. Yet, if someone is going to point out some mistakes, be open to criticism, because it is only like a chisel. We are being fine-tuned. Someone is helping us to grow. We are learners, and we have to believe as artists we are learners each and every single day, and we have to learn from the entire universe, from each other, without any ego, with abundant gratitude. Nothing should go to our head, whatever we accomplish, because every step forward, it is the universe that conspires. So let us be in gratitude, help each other, shoulder each other, and be open to criticism, have healthy discussions, be open to even argument is not as something negative a word. It is something you share my thoughts, I share your thoughts. I may not agree with yours, you may not agree with mine, but at least let's be open to listen to understand each other's perspective. And if there is anything good in each other's thoughts, share. Let's be open for it. Let's accept it gracefully. So that's it. And to land in love with nature, I would again request all the aspiring artists, to everyone who's listening to this, to all the people in the world, try to land in love with any form of art, because art sustains life. Art helps you to bounce back, to be the phoenix, rising above all the challenges in life. And to land in love with nature is a special kind of happiness. It's so cathartic. Just try at least 10 or 15 minutes minimum to start with, to be with a flower, to feel the rain, to just go on a walk, feel the trees, look at the sunshine, sunrise, moonrise. There is so much, the sea, the moon, everything. There is abundant beauty around the world. So just try landing in love with art, and you will slowly start realizing how healthy and cathartic it is each and every single day. And I have to take this opportunity for sure to thank my mentor, my friend, my my anchor, everything, Mr. Vijay, who is a theatre actor, director and coach, technical editor, language and communication trainer. Above all, an amazing poet. He's a very inspiring poet. He writes such beautiful cathartic poems, both in Tamil as well as in English. He's such a scholarly soul. So it's because of him, my poetry journey that had paused several times is flowing now. He's one of the main reasons for my landing in love with poetry is happening each and every single day. So thank you, Vijay. I have to thank you on this forum, and it's such an honor and pleasure to talk about you. Thank you very much. And I thank each and every one, every single soul in my friend circle, because of whom I'm able to continue this journey. They have shouldered me like anything, supported me like anything, and believed in me more than I believed in myself. So thank you everyone. There are beautiful souls. The list is long. I don't want to miss out anyone. So you souls know who you are. So thank you so much for all your support. Without you, I would not have been here talking about poetry, art, and all things that money can't buy, precious ones. So thanks once again, everyone, for this opportunity and for listening to my thoughts. Thank you very much. Thank you, All India Forum for English Students, Scholars, Trainers, AIFEST. This feels so good and beautiful, to talk about poetry, art, and to speak to the world uninhibited. And I really hope if this video could make someone land in love with art or poetry or nature or anything like that, I have not lived in vain. Thank you. All of you stay safe, please.
Hi everyone, this is V. Meenakshi, worked as Assistant Professor of English, Sri Raghavendra Arts and Science College, Chidambaram. It gives me immense pleasure on seeing the mail that my poem got selected for A grade. First of all, I would like to thank the respected teachers and Honorable Secretary of our college, Thriti V.K. Babu sir. He is the one who accepted my admission to study BA English and B.Ed in Sri Raghavendra Arts and Science College. Thank you so much, sir. From that small beginning comes great things. Then I would like to thank all my English faculty lecturers of Raghavendra, Dr. F. Abdul Rahim sir, Muthukumaran sir, Appa sir, Subha ma'am, Usha ma'am, and Gomati ma'am. Through each of your motivational words, I came to know that I am having the teaching capacity. Thank you so much for all your motivations. Then I would like to thank the lecturers of Annamalai University, where I did my PG. Dr. S. Ayapparaja sir, what I would like to say about him is he is my motivational guru. He is the backbone for all my success. Thank you so much, Dr. S. Ayapparaja sir. And I would like to thank all the lecturers of Annamalai University. Through each of them, I came to know each unique techniques in teaching. They all paved me the way to explore my teaching capacity. Thank you so much. Then coming to my poem, my father passed away due to cancer. Being brought up by single parent, I love my mom, Vijayavani Velan, lot. She brought me and my sister Parvati under hectic pressures. She never used to weep when worries surrounded her. Such an iron lady. She used to tell us only one thing: trust yourself, your talent, and God. One day your talent will make you shine. When I was at most in depressed mood, she used to say, why are you like this? Be bold, be yourself. Come, let's play something. Don't be upset. Everything is only for a short span of time. Cheer up. Like that, she always used to motivate me. I don't know how many children will get a mom like this. I love you, Ma. Love you so much. This poem specially I dedicate to you only and all the mothers. Now I am going to recite my poem. The first ever shade for everyone commences from their mother's womb. Such a protective and peaceful slumber that one can enjoy in the midst of gloomy womb. Shade of love from mother is a durable one. Love is like a banyan tree shade. At times, every aerial prop roots begins to fade. None can swing to one. Time and experience will make to realize which root hold us more in all our aches. Shade of love from mother is a durable one. Too much of anything is good for nothing. Love too, if more injected, creates ecstasy, but suddenly, if less injected, destroys everything. Beware, love is destroyer and preserver of mankind. Shade of love from mother is a durable one. From the womb to the tomb, only one shade will protect all us. It is selfless, soulful, and sacred shade that will never ever fade forever. Shade of love from mother is a durable one. Thank you. Thank you so much for your patient listening. And I would like to thank IFirst coordinators for providing opportunity for budding creators like us. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I am Nikunj Saplu. I am from Delhi, India. I did my graduation from SGTP Khalsa College, University of Delhi. I did my masters from IGNOU in English Literature. I want to thank IFirst for giving me such an opportunity to present my poem to everybody. The title of my poem is Love Perfecteth. In heart of heart, this heart repines. To when come that day, O beloved, thou shalt be mine. Not thou when I have, look how void of day is filled by. From an orchard nearby, eat I peach, sour and lime. O without you, sweetest of sweet, turns a sour grape. Then a heart filled with anxiety, an ocean of gushing tide, finding suddenly myself at its very shore. Then amidst the gale of winds decipher I a face of one, in hearts of hearts to whom it calls its own. That pretty dame of my sweet dreams, tell me thou when it shall be. I be yours, and mine you shall be. Now from an orchard to orchard I move, pluck I roses with thorns unremoved. To every petal of which I remove, contemplating upon, thou be or not be mine. I amble, I stumble, I rove, I rove, to then the fragrance of jasmine I bow. Them I pluck one by one, that garland so pretty, I will give you one, putting forth yellow blazing marigolds at your lotus feet. With it the sun sets the day, leaving brimmed my heart with dreams of another day. The day when this heart will call aloud, O pretty mistress, I wait, the day that thou shalt be mine. Trees of cherry, trees of pine, O someone here this heart pines. Intoxicated it sings, madly to rhymes of love and life. O come my beloved, hear these songs of mine. Come to the clutches of my heart, and yours hand in mine. Go shall we go to some place where no one shall find no one there, where you and me shall together fare, to far off lands where neither you and I shall care. O thou queen of my heart's throne, come now and descend for the sake of life of my very own. Thy locks entangle, eyes fascinate, oh me, oh me, oh me. Thy rosy lips congeal the flow of the very blood for a moment, where my heart stops to know the very beat of its beat, as if ceases my life to any flow. Chokes my heart, eyes my open, in dark of night, whether in dream or in real, not I know. Saw the face of someone, now be it a fairy, my dream lady. For such is my state, nothing other suits my taste. But I wait, I wait, I wait, and wait, to that day when merry between shall us be made. Thank you. Love, everybody wants someone to love him or her. Here I would like to quote Khalil Gibran's quote. Someday you will ask, which is more important, my life or yours? I will say mine, and you will walk away not knowing that you are my life. Thank you.
Pleasure hi to all who are listening to me and my words. It's a great honor that AAFEST community has selected my writing and placed it under a category of grade A. Well, I'm Haripriya Ravi from Tamil Nadu, a proud literature graduate. I'm the co-author of 14 anthologies and at present I'm compiling a book. In future, I'll be the author of many reputed books. The poem which I gave for this poetry fest is You and Me, which was written by me because I chose the topic Shades of Love. The lines are:
You and me. When trinity of you is added with twine me, it automatically results in complete we, where we is the synonym of O and antonym of O.
By me, this is what love is. This is what shades of love is. If you both are the synonym of O, then you are the pure form of love. Thank you for watching. Bye.
She. Calmness in her eyes, drought in her lips, that shiny golden hair smells old. Wrinkles in her cheek shows her countless days. Her pleasant attitude, the warmth of her family. Her pleasant attitude, the warmth of her family. The mighty hands made everything humble. The mighty hands made everything humble. The seventh hand built the altar of her brood. The seventh hand built the altar of her brood. Her strong desires magically resembling her beauty. Her strong desires magically resembling her beauty. The hours make her afraid. Every day and night she feels acute pain, the pain of solace, console, affection. Her strength, her brood, all are fading. Her strength, her brood, all are fading. She kneels to pray for see her destiny. She kneels to pray for see her destiny. Her candles are melting. Her candles are melting. Her veil of grace blurred by whispers. Her veil of grace blurred by whispers. Her quest for love was a deep hollow of darkness. She is digging for love. At length she finds a mere shadow of her menage. The fathomed menage give her warmth, their tenderness, their fondness. That fathomed menage give her their warmth, their tenderness, their fondness. By and by she gains her shade of love and her veil of grace. By and by she gains her shade of love and her veil of grace. Calmness in her eyes, drought in her lips, the shiny cold hair smells old. Wrinkles in her cheek shows her countless days. Her pleasant attitude, the warmth of her family, the mighty hands made everything humble. The seventh hand builds the altar of her brood. Her strong desires magically resembles her beauty. Her strong desires magically resembles her beauty.
Hello, all. It is with immense pleasure that I express my gratitude towards the organizers of the AFS Poetry Competition for having selected my poem for publication in their poetry anthology. My poem has secured an A grade in the third category that includes participants from everyone else. The themes of the said category were Shades of Love and the Pandemic, and I chose the second theme. Let me introduce myself. I am Rohini Kepoti, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Government College, Kasaragod in Kerala. To discuss about the theme of my poem, there was an increasing number of domestic violence cases reported in the media during the COVID-19 lockdown period. I understand that the domestic sphere in India reinforces patriarchy. So I wish to portray the life and sufferings of a woman who was locked up in the same space for an indefinite period of time with an abusive husband. And I resorted to the dramatic monologue mode of poetry, but definitely with some liberties. And regarding the structure of my poem, there is a storyboard with two characters in it, the man of the family and his wife. And I have given dialogues only to the man as he represents the vociferous patriarchy. The woman of the family is silent as she is the metaphor for endurance and the mute, silent suffering of womanhood. But her plight is brought to our notice. It is revealed through the loud thoughts presented in the poem that further augments her pathetic state of existence. I have titled my poem The Common Indian Raga because I think the music of domestic violence is the same everywhere. I recite my poem The Common Indian Raga. The house needs a repainting, he said. Cracks in the wall, peeled of plaster, monsoon drawings upon the ceiling, moldy smell. It needs repair, he added. The mirror on the wall reflects my craggy face, peeled of lust, worry lines on my forehead, rotten odor. It needs a repair too. Let us paint it with gypsy pink, I hear him say. Paint my life with the shades of love, I wish to say. I'll call the painter right away, he gushes. Lockdown brought him to the folds of this house. Marriage brought me to the confines of these four walls. He frets and fumes and bursts and explodes. His pattern of anger splashed across the wall. I look at the pattern. I identify a few. That one is definitely dal. That faded yellow. Burned dal destroyed his palate, he had barked. The IPL was at a nail-biting moment. How can he have attended to a crying child? This here is a faded red. Was it the broken bottle of ketchup, or the unseasoned tomato fry, or the blood, as he pressed my face against the wall? The painter said he shall begin the work once the lockdown is lifted. His sigh of relief. You are right. You're free, right? Then start packing things and make room. Another decree. I am fatigued. Maybe it's the lunch that you cooked. His twinkling eyes spoke. I wake so early, need some rest, he added. That's very correct. But I too wake at 5 in the morning, as does he. I run around during chores. He runs on his treadmill. I fetch the newspaper. He reads. I make tea. He drinks. I cook rotis. He eats. I iron his clothes. He wears. I make his bed. He sleeps. Who said there is inequality? The story is the other way round too. He complains. I listen. He lashes out his wrath. I bear. He makes love. I accuse. Married life is all about sharing. We share equally. Sometimes he is at the receiving end and sometimes I. But why is it that I always receive pain and he pleasure? Thank you.
I am Vittal Arjun Navi. I am from Karnataka, Bagalkot district, Mudur. I am studying in BA third year at Rani Channamma University, Belgavi. Now I am going to recite my new poem, True Love. Love is like a little fragrance, not me, but come with me to catch that. If it had flown, don't worry, I will four and four. Bouquet has many flowers, not me. I have only you, sometimes slipped. Don't hate me and left me. I will love you, I still love you. Someone dislikes you, not me. I still have a large hands for you. If your heart's bell is rings me, I will there, I still there. Now I am going to recite my second poem. I am curious. I am the king of kingdom of love. You are the queen of me. And next, what will we do? Tell me urgent. I am curious. When will we meet? When will we meet? When will we hug like sparrows? And when will we eat the pest? Tell me urgent. I am curious. I hoped you won't fly. Please hope on nature, on me. Will we reach our goals? Tell me urgent. I am curious. What can I do for you? Do you like me or hate? I hope in your love. Please tell me urgent. I am curious.